Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Bit of a different video today. And by bit of a different video today, I mean a very different video today. We're going to be calling this one the MX versus ATV Iceberg / conspiracy. Because, man, I love MX versus ATV Reflex. And being that I've been playing it more and more recently, I'm just like, how and why does MX versus ATV Reflex go so hard, and all of these ones that came out after it suck? And it's like, dude, it's so crazy to think that this game was so good, and then a year later, this one just took 50 steps back. So like, I've kind of been doing some digging on what happened, why it's like that, like just like different things, because it's not just me who's wonders why the like why why this happened. There's like I have stuff pulled up, uploading a video over here, so there is that. But like, yeah, so guess what we're gonna like mainly like the iceberg part of it is mainly just talking about the first ones, like MX Unleashed, MX versus ATV Unleashed, like all of those. Like there was MX Unleashed came out before MX versus ATV Unleashed. Hands down, they would go in a A category or the S category. Those two are the fucking greatest games ever. Like seriously, those two games, this like MX versus ATV Unleashed and the game before it, best games ever. Untamed, definitely A tier. All of these fall in fucking F tier, like easily. That's why like I didn't really pull anything up or anything, because all of these would be in F tier. These are the only three that belong in like this, and then Reflex is Unleashed is the only ones that belong in S, and then this is an A tier game. So we'll just skim over that real quick. Now, the physics when it came to Alive, Supercross, All Out, and Legends, like everyone talks about the physics of Reflex and it being the best game on physics and whatnot, and yada yada yada. And everyone's always wondering, like, why can't we, like, why can't you just put the physics from Reflex into Alive or Supercross or All Out or one of these other ones? And like, why can't you do that? And I've been doing some digging and whatnot, and like, here's Reflex. There's not much you can find out about Reflex from the wiki, except there is one bit of information right over here that we'll talk about here in a second. And like I said, I think that might be where the actual code is. Now, Reflex came out in 09, and then we all played it through 2010, and then in 2011 is when Alive came out. Right? 09. Yep, 09, and then 2011 is when Alive came out. So we played Reflex all through 2010, and it was kind of weird that we didn't get another game that year, and everyone was kind of wondering why. I remember at the time, like, I know, like, it was just like we kind of expected it the next year. And then that's like, you do your research and whatnot and some looking, and you pull up this, and then you pull up this file or this over here onto Rainbow Studios and whatnot. And it's a really good read. I actually do think, hold on, some people actually believe that Rainbow Studios is purposely trying to make the game worse, which is ridiculous. I actually think that's true. They really are trying to make the game purposely worse. Here's the thing. If they would go back to the Unleashed, or like the MX versus ATV Unleashed physics, it would be better than all of these. It would be better than all, like if they literally just went back to the single stick, and like the rider just basically being a flag on top of the dirt bike and the dirt bike being the main physics, I think that the game would be, dude, because you watch, dude, Legends is so bad. Like, it is so bad. You will watch someone like case and on off and bounce and shit, but all they do is just pop the clutch hit a preload and they jump. Like, it's so bad. It is so bad how bad Reflex or how bad Legends and shit is. I haven't played it, but just the gameplay, it looks like absolute dog wash. No fucking uh, deformation or anything in the tracks. Like, it looks like an absolute horrible game. But that being said, you come over here and you scroll down and you get to this part right here. Going back to the Reflex issue, in the early 2000s, it was common for tech companies to outsource some of the work for the programming. The third-party companies typically work on code that gets implemented in the main code to perform certain tasks. Rainbow Studios had hired another company to write the network code that basically controlled an essential part of the game, the way the game worked. That being said, in 2011, MX vs. ATV was released in spring, and Rainbow Studios had dropped the third-party coding company themselves. That's where it brings me to this part. So, you come down here to MX Bikes, and look, you have controllers, documents, plugins. Now, these are the three main things you'll have in your Poboso file whenever you browse local files. Mine's a little different because I had like, I mentioned in my video today that my files were messed up and I couldn't get them to pull correctly and whatnot. So this is the only way I was able to get them to pull correctly. They're all in here. Even in all of these, there's no physics. There's no physics. All of this is like stock stuff. Okay? So no physics files in this. There's no physics files anywhere in this. You browse the local files on Reflex. Like, that's what I was, you can, like, even in the Poboso, like, there's no physics files anywhere. Like, even in control, like, there's no physics files anywhere in, like, I know there's physics files, but there's not a specific physics file, and I'll explain to that why. Because you come over here to MX versus ATV Reflex, and you have a physics file, like an actual third-party file for physics, and that you can open it with Notepad. I don't get what any of this shit says, but there's coding in all of these. There's coding with all of this, okay? So you can see coding here, all right? So why can't we, like, if I can get to this, why can't someone else, why can't somebody who, like, why can't somebody who has a actual technical, like, a background in this shit get to this and reverse engineer the physics? Now, here's where we get a little bit deeper into, like, conspiracies and whatnot, because, again, if I can find this stuff, why can't someone else find it? Now, again, you kind of come over here, there's not a whole ton of info on any of these Madness video games. What is this? More games that they made. So, okay. Now, here's why I say I think this is where the code for Reflex is. Because you come over to the Reflex thing, and you take all of the time frames into consideration. 2009, 2010, 2011. You also come over here and you see there's, like, they worked on the handheld version, Rainbow Studios, THQ. There's no, like, clearly they had a third developer work on this besides THQ and Rainbow, But who and where, and if Rainbow didn't make the code, who did? Who the fuck is Moby Games? I know they did a lot of mobile games, but look at this. In mid 2010, Moby was purchased by Gamefly for an undisclosed amount. In 2010, mid 2010, when they would have been working on Alive or Supercross or whatever the next one after Reflex was, is when this company got bought. Whoever Moby Games was, I'm pretty sure they have the code to MX versus ATV Reflex, the physics code. I'm pretty sure Moby Games is the third party, because like their logo isn't on anything, anything like any of the things that you buy, like the physical copies of Reflex. Their name is nowhere to be found on it. You cannot find Moby Games' name anywhere on this. So again, that's what leads me to believe that the only thing they touched is something that's not ever going to be seen by normal people, by like people who aren't digging into this stuff. So they didn't get credit for it besides just some a reference link on the development. And I think that's why and where the code is, because they could have felt some type of way not having any credit on making the world's greatest MX game, that when they got bought out, they didn't release the code back to THQ or Rainbow and kept the code for themselves. So I'm being dead serious. I'm pretty sure Moby Games is who has the MX versus ATV Reflex code. Like, I'm pretty sure they have the code to this game. I'm pretty sure that if somebody at fucking, or even if somebody at Rainbow could get in touch with Moby or whoever and be like, yo, do y'all have this? Or did y'all work on this? And even get a no. Because, like, dude, that's, like, that's what everyone is like. It's just, why can't, if I can find the physics file on Reflex myself, I don't know how PC that word is anymore. I am not computer illiterate. Like, I know how to do some things, but when it comes down to it, I'm not the greatest. And okay, look, say this is all code and whatnot. Dude, look, PC, more code. Like, this could all be like physics coding that like I can get to, but why can't anyone else get to, like, why can't somebody who has actual background in coding get to this and reverse engineer it? Like, it's not that hard for fucking me to get to it, so why can't y'all get to it? Why can't they get to it? So what if the next best thing is to go to Moby Games and be like, hey, can we buy the MX versus ATV Reflex code for y'all? We see that y'all are not doing the greatest. Y'all haven't had anything come out since, who the hell knows, y'all could maybe use a little money. Like, it's been years since they've done anything. So, like, this is where the code is. This is where the MX versus ATV Reflex code is. Like, hands down. If we could, if somebody could, hey, where is it? Can we have it? Or shit, even at this point, just go back to the, like, literally just go back to the, like, a straight up, go back to straight arcade style and get rid of the, like, double physics of, like, sim physics. Get rid of that. If y'all can't build a sim arcade, don't try to make a sim arcade. Make an arcade. Take it back to the original MX versus, because again, even those games are better than, like, I literally think they're trying to destroy the MX versus ATV series because they can't do it. Like, they, again, like, just say you can't do it and bring it back to the original and then work on it from there. But like, dude, what we have now is just absolutely terrible. Like, it's bad. And so yeah, like, that's just, it's, they're online, they're there. Somebody get in touch with these people and just like, hey, do y'all have the code? We'll buy it from you if you do. The code has to be somewhere. Like, it didn't just disappear. Like, the code literally has to be for somewhere on some hard drive somewhere, that like it's there. And so I just don't see. Yeah, we should be able to make a good MX versus game in 2024. So yeah, that's kind of, that's my conspiracy theory. That this is where the MX versus ATV Reflex code is, and that somebody needs to get in touch with them and figure it out and buy it. Yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And yeah, we'll see y'all in the next video.